you are never far from my mind because Instagram knows what I like. You have these these little sites that you go on and they learn you real quickly. And so mine's always showing me, here's another Beatles guitar solo you can learn how to play, or here's, it's constantly showing me the things it knows I'm going to like and showing me historic stuff. It knows that I can watch Anchorman clips until the sun goes down and then well beyond that. And the one it keeps sending me over and over and over again is Sex Panther. And so I know it cold, you unveiling your cologne to Will Ferrell. And one of the things I love about so much is I think in the history of comedy, it's the two most self-satisfied people I've ever seen in any situation. You're unveiling your cologne. He's so pleased for you and impressed. You're so pleased with yourself. And I would just put it out there to like, people go back and look at this clip, and people do all the time, but it is to me the epigee, the acme, the high point of two idiots who are happy with themselves. Oh. And it always makes me happy every single time I watch it.
Thank you. Well, it is, you are dead on the money. These are two morons who think they've got it all figured out.
Yeah.
And that's always such a fun thing to play, certainly.
Yes,
and Will is so good at it. And that was one of the hardest moments I laughed. Will doesn't really break character too much.
No.
And he really got me. I do. But he really made me laugh when we were doing that scene, and I thought, because there is kind of so much improvisation, and I thought, and then I said, well, 60% of the time, it works every time, and I thought that will make him laugh, and he didn't even smile, and he just said, that doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't,
and then I lost it.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's really the one moment of clarity that either one of us has in that scene.
Yeah. And then everything else is, he says pungent, and then you're very confident about Sex Panther, and it's made of real bits of Panther, so it's good. There's another thing.
Quality. That's the one thing. Yeah.
And then I think smells like gasoline. Everything about
pure gasoline.
Yeah, pure gasoline. And so I don't know. And you are so. I mean, one of the things that you're able to do in so many different, and we've talked about it, but in so many different parts you play, you're able to access this. You're incredibly likable, but you have no authority. You should not be respected, and you don't care. Do you know what I mean? You're able to combine all those things at the same time, and I'm always delighted, in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, when you're the guy that hangs out on the beach and rents scuba equipment and stuff. That I love that character. And again, and I think you were telling me once that was just, you brought a lot of your own experience to that character.
Well, there was, when Jason was when he was writing it or when they were getting ready to shoot it, he said, you want to come to Hawaii and you want to maybe play this surf instructor. And we were just talking about it. And it was just this idea that if you ever go to any of these resorts and there are guys there that teach surfing or diving or whatever, you meet them and you feel like, I've got it all kind of figured out. But the more you talk with them, you realize they're running away from something or something's not right. And that just seemed like a funny, kind of oh no, I get it. But just really putting a hippy dippy positive spin on it. It's like, no, this is my journey or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so,
but he had no actual knowledge,
none
of really anything.
No,
he shouldn't be there. It was dangerous that he was working there.
And the idea was that I was going to also play much older than I was. I wanted to be older. By the way, I was 44 in that movie, and now I look at 44 and go, oh my God, what a young kid I was. But I was in my 30s when we did it, and I tried to dye my hair gray. I want gray hair, not even a wig. I should have just worn a wig. But I went and tried to dye my hair gray, but my hair is so dark that it just turned kind of red. And that's why my hair in that movie is just kind of red, because I don't know how to I had never dyed
I
my
love
hair.
how you'd think this is a big movie and very successful movie and a classic. Why are things so, hey, do you want to come hang out in Hawaii? Maybe you could play this kind of guy. Hey, I have an idea. I'll be right back. I'm going to go dye my own hair. You'd never think that that's how it came together.
It's how it came together. And it was really, and even when I arrived, I remember we filmed it at the North Shore, at the top of Oahu. And when I landed, I was not tan. Big surprise. And they said, well, you need to get a tan. So there's a place that you can get a spray tan, but it's on the southern part of Oahu. It was like 2 hours away or something. As I landed on the plane, went directly to this spray tanning place, drove, so that took like an hour and a half, or drove another few hours to get to the North Shore where they were filming, checked in the hotel, told them I'm here. And then I went and took a shower.
No.
And I never knew that you have to let a spray tan settle in. And they had I'm like, it all came off. I was in the shower and it was like Psycho of the color going down the drain. And they had to send me back right there. So then I had to drive another 2 hours. First of all, to get from New York to Hawaii, it takes something like 10 odd hours.
Sure, yeah.
It took me longer to get to get to the spray tan twice, and then get back to set. Yeah,
one of my favorite things. It's I guess a truism about a lot of my favorite kinds of comedy is there's this thing that's in classic comedies, and I'm just going to start with like the Three Stooges, where you flash forward. Yeah, you take someone who's a complete idiot, but you put them in a position that they'd never be in. So the Three Stooges, the rich people need plumbers, and plumbers show up, and they have a truck, they have all the equipment, they're clearly in the phone book, they're registered plumbers. The richest people in town are calling them up, so clearly they've done this before, and it's three people that literally can't take a hammer out of a bag without smashing vases all around them. They don't know what a pipe is and things explode. And you see that over and over. Clouseau would never have been the most famous detective in the world. He's a complete idiot. And that's this thing that happens over and over and over again. I'm thinking that is a thing that these films, like the Anchorman films, they do so well, is none of these people would be where they are. No. And that's the thing, and this guy would never have been a beach instructor, but people are beamed into this reality. And once people accept that, everything's great.
Right.
And it's just what you have to do.
And it's so fun in like Three Stooges or Clouseau especially, that they wind up kind of winning despite the fact of their ineptitude.
Yeah.
The biggest example, or the most brilliant I always think of, is something like Being There.
Yes.
Where, back into every single victory. And what's so amazing about that movie, obviously, is that everyone around him thinks he's brilliant, whereas everyone else around Clouseau and Three Stooges know they're morons.
Yes. Yeah.
But it is a really, that's a good kind of construct. I'm with you. That kind of thing.
It really always fills me with delight.
Yeah.